Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment and bring something to your attention. Maybe something that some of you haven't thought of. Here's something that I found to be very, I'm not even going to say concerning, but very obvious. And just to show you just how woke, some of our so-called, athletic leaders or entertainment leaders, even wicked government leaders, just to show you what kind of mind tricks, and I almost use, mind, anyway, yeah, that they play with our people. And I say that, brothers, because, as Israel, we are continually targeted, with foolishness and misinformation, misdirection, all kind of cognitive, distorted, illogical propaganda. And here's what I'm saying. This is short and sweet. If you guys remember a few years back, Colin Kaepernick decided to not stand for the national anthem. If you remember that, he took a knee. And if you remember, the NBA, NFL, WNBA, your legislators, I'm talking about the people in government, they all went on this big old, pro, human rights and pro anti-police protests, and et cetera, et cetera. Everybody just jumped right on in it. Except for, of course, Colin Kaepernick. He just took a knee and then went hid out some damn where, because from what I understand, he's very unarticulate and pretty dumb. But keep that between us, okay? Don't share that. But that's what several little birdies have told me. But that aside, all of these blackity black, pro-black, white, brown, whatever they were all up in a roar and all just, we need to stand with Colin. We need to stand with him because he has a right to be America, anti-patriotic. After all, the police are shooting our men. Now, granted, I am definitely, a stand-up Israelite male for our people. And yes, I do agree with the way our people are treated, by these vicious race soldiers, some of them even black, and how their aggression towards our people. Now, that's set aside. Now, you take what Colin Kaepernick did, which was just a bunch of showmanship. Let me tell you, showmanship. And now you compare and contrast that with Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. Now, what Kanye West said about us our people being a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, that is some of the most important, relevant information to Black Americans. That is probably the most important information in the history of our enslavement here on Turtle Island, so-called America. You can think about all of the accomplishment of our people, all of the victories of our people, all of the support that we have given to this nation, the sacrifices by our people. None of those things are superior to us finally understanding our true identity, which these devils in power, including religious devils, government devils, corporate devils, educational devils, all went above and beyond to keep us ignorant to. And now, finally, it took men like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving to the lesser degree, but he had his piece, he had his say, to now finally to get the attention of this world that the true people of Israel would not over in, Israel or New York or wherever they were. No, they were right under our noses all the time. As a matter of fact, it was beyond under our noses. It was us. It was us. And now the lie is being uncovered. I mean, they even taught it in our books, in our history book. First of all, they told us we had no history beyond the slave ships of America. That's what we were taught. Because everything was after we got here, right? That's the only other history they ever. They never talked about our history beyond the slave ship. What happened before we were taken and placed on those ships. There is no information about that. Like we just came out of nowhere. Poof. Here they come. And every time we would even inquire about our history, we get told, just some Gentile, jungle, cannibal, whatever the hell they would say to us. Son of Cain, to be servants forever and ever and ever, sons of Canaan. Which is a big lie because that had nothing to do with ethnicity. But those lies they told us as though we had no history but the history that was force-fed us. From the time we were able or old enough to understand what a globe was and what a flag and our allegiance to both would be. The globe, earth, lie. The flag being a representation of all people, another lie. When the whole time, and they conspired against us. Psalms 83 says so. They conspired to keep us ignorant to who we were all of that time so that they could always, demean us, disrespect us, enslave us, use violence against us and unjustly, stack the deck against us when it came down to, appropriate or adequate housing, access to better paying jobs, access to good, facilities where our children could be taught their own history. All that conspiring to make sure that we were destroyed, that the nation of Israel is no more. Again, Psalms 83. And so when I think about what's going on right now and how Elohim, the creator, in these last days has now used men like those two that I mentioned and many others. Hell, I even add myself to that mix. Been talking about it for years, trying to remind our people, trying to explain to our people, we are the people. And we had a history. We've always had a history. It was hidden from us in plain sight. They use little clever words. You want to keep a secret from a black man? What they tell us? Put it in a book. You remember that? They weren't lying, brothers and sisters. Because the biggest secret that was kept in a book is called the Bible. That's the secret that they didn't want you, nor I, our ancestors, to know nothing about. Because we always had a history. It goes all the way back to first man. And many, 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 many men and great women who were there as examples for us on who we were, our best selves, even our worst selves, and how we would always know our power if we kept aligned with the almighty power, Yahuwah, Elohim. Hell, we even had laws like the Constitution. Our Constitution was called the Torah. We even had great stories that talked about patriotism. They were written in all the scriptures. Conquerors, heroes, queens, and kings, little men, big men, brave men, young, courageous men. David against a mighty man like Goliath. Again, innumerable stories right there hidden from us in plain sight telling us that, oh, don't y'all read that. That's not for y'all. If you're going to read it, let us tell you what it says. But they never told us the most important thing, that we were the people that this book was talking about the whole time. They told us we were some Gentile, heathens grafted in. If we paid good attention and loved white Jesus, then we might get ours in heaven. Wickedness. So here's what I'll say. Colin Kaepernick, he was nothing but, in my opinion, a woke, distraction to make our people feel like somehow or another police brutality mattered, to our enemies. Those who support that kind of behavior, who justify aggression, violence, and murder of our people by police. And they used him just as a nothing burger. And everybody got all your athletes, entertainers, everybody jumped on back. And they were all talking, wearing their Black Lives Matter shirts, all kind of shit. But then you get Kanye and you get Kyrie. And what they're saying, they're as quiet. They are as quiet. I'm talking about those same people. Your politicians, your athletes, your entertainers. They're as quiet, and your pastors and your preachers. They are as quiet as a church mouth pissing on cotton. They have nothing to say. And that's why, again, young brothers and young sisters, elder brothers and elder sisters, mature brothers and mature sisters, that's why, politicians are not our leaders, not the ones that we did not select. Entertainers are definitely not our spokespersons, not the ones that we didn't anoint. And we don't need to be anointing. Anytime somebody writes a check for another man, he's always going to be in bed with the check writer. He'll never be loyal to you. He's always going to be loyal to who writes that check. So they would never represent us properly. They would give us the impression, the illusion that we're getting, representation. And typically, what do? Including their preachers and pastors, we all just need to let the system work for itself. We should, violence don't solve anything. We just need to, to support the family and respect the wishes of the family. Now, the only people who get told shit like that when something happens to us is Israel. They never say that if something happens to the Asians, Hispanics, Europeans, even Africans. When something happens to one of them, shit hits the fan and everybody knows about it. And nobody has a damn thing to say when they riot. Hell, they riot behind football games. But let us raise our voices up for any reason. They send them little compromised wolves in sheep's clothing, the clergymen, to calm us down. And then these fake leaders, hustlers, pimps, Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons and Benjamin Crumps, Lee Merrick and the rest of them he-devils out there with their lies. So I will say this to you again, my brothers and sisters. You follow me? It is evil and wrong to call good evil and evil good. That's in our book. We are commanded not to do that. And when a Colin Kaepernick is used, as a ploy or a decoy to make us feel like somehow or another, he's standing up for what's right for the people with his boule ass. And everybody supports that. Nothingness. Who gives a damn who stood for the national anthem or not? But then when you have two bold men who put everything on the line and took real losses, at least potentially. Kanye, real losses. And I'm not talking about him wearing no damn T-shirt. Why wouldn't he get all worked up when he had the mega hat on then? More importantly, why didn't they get all worked up? We all worked up about the White Life Matters T-shirt him and Candace had on. But when he had the mega hat on, it was buzz, but everybody still was buying Yeezys. Or Yeezys, I'm sorry. So it wasn't about the T-shirt no more than it was about the mega cap. It wasn't about who controls the entertainment industry. Unless you're an idiot, we all know who controls the entertainment industry. Hell, they created Hollywood. Why wouldn't they control it? But what they did not like is him saying publicly to 30 million Twitter followers that the black people were the people of the book, that we were the true Israelites. That's why the shit hit the fan with him. And then when Kyrie came right back behind him, another young soldier, Israelite, and said, you know what? Hebrews and Negroes is something that, I found a lot of historical facts in, and it made me feel proud of myself. It allowed me to be able to go and explore my own history. Because I realized I'm also an Israelite, Hebrews to Negroes. Then what? They slapped him down. Shut up. And again, I know some of you say, well, yeah, they sold out. I'm going to tell you something. What Kyrie did and what Kanye did is the equivalent of opening Pandora's box. If you know the story of Pandora's or the fairy tale, the mythical story of Pandora's box. If you remember what happened, once they opened that box, finally opened the box, the things that were in that box could never be placed back in that box. So this is what I'm saying to wrap this message up. They opened the Pandora's box. And what was in that box was a secret, the best kept secret in the history of mankind, that we, the so-called Negroes, scattered all over this earth, are the Israelites. So Kanye, Kyrie, I'm sorry our people are not standing up for you guys. But you know what? Your names are going to go down in infamy with them devils, but also guess where else is going to go down with infamy? I'm talking about those who hate you all. Those of us who love you all, we're going to always honor what you did. And we understand why you had to go and apologize and do all that. It doesn't matter. You already let it out. And I know y'all knew that. So good job for being clever. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, right? Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, right? That's what you guys were. And guess where else your names are going to be written in infamy? The Creator. He's going to also recognize your courage. And I suspect both of you guys, if you stay focused, you continue to grow as Israelite men, that you'll be rewarded in the next life as well as you have been rewarded and appreciated in this one. Brothers and sisters out there, don't believe the hype. You know what I'm saying? Don't, turn your back on them two brothers. They did what they had in their hands. They used what they had in their hands. I hope you could use their example or follow their examples and ask yourself the question, what's in your hands to educate your people about their real history, their true history? And can you love them enough and be loved and go against your own gut, be willing to suffer and pay the price for that love that you have for your people? Because they did it. I believe you can too, if you want to. And that's what this message is too, for those of you all, brothers and sisters. Entertainers are not our heroes. Politicians don't represent the people of the book. All right? And at the end of the day, your clergy, they lied too. They knew. They knew all the while, and they never told us in their churches. So that makes them traitors. So don't trust them either. DFG, talk to you soon. Bye now.